Yo, what's going on, guys? It's Houston Sports Talk back in another video today. And today we're going to talk about the Houston Astros potentially trading for Ryan O'Hearn. And this is a guy I'd really like to see the Astros trade for. I saw something on X last night, Twitter, whatever you want to call it, about the Astros, it was like someone on X asking Astros fans, who did Astros fans think the Astros should target at the trade deadline realistically? And a lot of people were saying Ryan O'Hearn. There was also a lot of Brandon Lau's, which I really like to see the Astros go after Brandon Lau. I mean, he's been on a heater recently, played with Isaac Paredes, also was a really nice home run hitter, and that could definitely work well at Dyken Park. But I look at Ryan, and he's also a left-handed batter as well. To add that, but that's a lot of the same things that I just mentioned with Brandon. The same thing with Ryan O'Hearn. The only difference between the two is Lau is a little bit worse, even though he's pretty good, and he's going to be a little bit cheaper. But O'Hearn, I look at Ryan O'Hearn. I think he'd be a great addition for this Houston Astros team. I think he would. You look at this pitching wise, the Astros, right? You look at them, and I think you look at them as a top 5 pitching group in baseball. I think that's fair. They're almost top 5 in all the stats pitching wise. And usually top 2, top 3 in the AL with all of them too. They are a top 5 pitching team in baseball. But hitting wise, they've been better recently. But hitting wise, they're far worse, and definitely far worse than they were last year. I know hits, they're like a little bit outside the top 10. They're like 12 or 13 in hits or something like that. But it's like hits, they've actually gotten pretty higher with batting average as well, have gone higher. But a big problem with this team is, and this is a real big problem that this team has, is getting extra base hits. They are great at getting singles. They're probably top 5 in getting singles in the league, honestly. I mean, because they're like bottom 5 in doubles. They're almost bottom 10 in home runs. Meanwhile, they're almost top 10 in hits. That shows you that the Astros should be top 5, at least top 10 in singles, right? That this team is great at getting base hits, base knocks. But what they're terrible at is capitalizing on getting runs, and then also on top of that, getting extra base hits. And Ryan O'Hearn is a guy that would help with that. This team is garbage when it comes to, I hate to say that, but it's true, when getting with at bats with runners in scoring position. Just this past series, this is nuts. The Astros won this series against the Seattle Mariners. They played great. Offensively, they had 48 hits in the series. Pitching-wise, unbelievable pitching. Great series for this Astros team. But still a horrendous 5 for 32 with runners in scoring position, which is 156 batting average with runners in scoring position. Now, meanwhile, Ryan O'Hearn is, and this is one of the reasons why I'd love to see the Astros bring him in. Sure, is he a guy that is fully great all the time? 151 at-bats this year. He's got 8 home runs, 18 RBIs, 338 batting average. But what is he also really good at this year and years prior? That is batting with runners in scoring position. I'll also add, this team has also had a really big struggle this year with the bases loaded. And this season, he only has 1 at-bat with the bases loaded. He struck out. But the 2 prior seasons, 2024 and 2023, O'Hearn is 6 for 19 with the bases loaded. So, sure, O'Hearn only has 1 opportunity with the bases loaded this year, but last 2 years, amazing with the bases are loaded. But with runners on base this year, he's been fantastic. 11 for 38 O'Hearn is with runners in scoring position. And that's not just this year. It's not just a this year thing for O'Hearn. It's the prior seasons too. 2024, O'Hearn was a total of 29. It was like 29 for, I want to say it was 29 for like 104 with scoring runners in scoring position. Yeah, it was 29 for 104, which equals to almost 280 batting average with runners in scoring position. You can look at 2023. 2023 was an even better year for him when it comes to batting with runners in scoring position. That year, he with runners in scoring position was 69 for he had 60. Sorry, that's 69 games. He was 30 for 86, which is a batting average of almost 350 with runners in scoring position. Sorry, it was a little hard to see there, but so that just shows you how good he's been for runners in scoring position, even bases loaded the last 3 years. And that is something the Astros really struggle with this year, like really bad. The Astros are the second worst team in baseball this year with bases loaded. They have the second worst OPS in the league with the bases loaded this year. I think the team that is only worse than that is the Rockies. So they are one of the worst teams in baseball this year when it comes to bases loaded. Also, runners in scoring position. It's something that really has to change for this team this year, only batting 248 with runners in scoring position. And that number was almost 260 a couple weeks ago. That's dropped down with recent struggles. And yeah, you've missed Yordan Alvarez, but he's a guy that was struggling before the injury. O'Hearn, I think bringing him in would really help with the struggles this team has when having runners in scoring position with what he's done in the last couple years. They talk about 8 home runs, 18 RBIs this year, and that is only in 149 at bats, 151 after today's. He's 2 for 2 to start off today's game for the Orioles. They're winning 5-0, and he's 2 for 2 in that game. So he's so far just reached 50 hits on the season. He's 51 for 151, which is a batting average of 338 with 8 home runs, 18 RBIs. Last year was amazing. 15 home runs, 59 RBIs, batting average was 264, 112 games in 2023. 14 home runs, 60 RBIs, batting average is 290. A big thing I talk about is how big he is when it comes to, the problems that this team has with runners in scoring position and bases loaded. He helps with that, but also he helps with this problem that this team has with no left-handed hitters. Yordan Alvarez, when healthy, is the only full left-handed hitter in the lineup. Right now, you do have Victor Caratini, who's a switch hitter, but he's sometimes batting right-handed. He's not a full lefty. Yordan is the only full lefty on this team. The Astros, they lost Tucker. He was a lefty. You need to add in another lefty, another really powerful lefty into this lineup, and that O'Hearn would be a great addition to that. To add in the problems with this team has with not having many lefties. There are too many dominant pitchers that are dominant against righties and struggle against lefties, especially that you'll face in the postseason. Potentially, you need to add in a lefty. And what does that cost? I mean, O'Hearn is an expiring contract, so you look at the value he would be if he was a guy that was, had multiple years left on his deal. I think it'd be too expensive for the Astros. But the fact that the Orioles are really bad this year, if they win today, they'll be 16 games below 500. But they are 17 games below 500 right now. They are struggling badly. They are going to be a team that could be looking to sell. O'Hearn is a guy that is. You look at O'Hearn, and he's a guy that is expiring deal. Here's what I think the Astros could look to give up: Miguel Ayula, who he's the Astros' number 4 prospect, 22 years old, from the Dominican Republic. He has pitched amazing this year in Sugarland. 2-2 record, 8 starts, 3.86 ERA, 28 innings, giving up 12 earned runs and 40 strikeouts. Even though that is a 22-year-old pitching in AAA. So he's been outstanding in AAA this year. And I think the second guy the Astros would look to give up in this deal would be their number 10 prospect, who is Luis Baez. He's an outfielder expected to make his major league debut in 2026, 21 years old. This year, he's trying to get up to AAA, but this year made it at single A, batting 263, and hit, had 2000. Never mind. Actually, he hasn't played this year in the minor leagues yet. Has not played at all in the minor leagues this year. I think he might be dealing with an injury. But last year in the minor leagues in single A and double A, his batting average was almost 260. OPS was almost 800, 106 games, 431 at bats, 111 hits, 25 doubles, 21 home runs, 76 RBIs, 30 walks. So Luis Baez is number 10 and Miguel Ayula number 4 is I think the Astros should look to give up for Ryan O'Hearn, I don't know if that's enough, but those are two really nice prospects right there for O'Hearn, a guy who is an expiring deal. These Astros and Orioles team, they have experience of making trades with each other. Just a couple years ago, the Astros made that Trey Mancini deal, and this I think this is another time with this Astro team really needs a big need. Like the Astros really needed a first baseman. They really needed a guy who can launch some home runs for them, like O'Hearn does. O'Hearn has 8 home runs so far this year. If O'Hearn joined the Astros right now with his 8 home runs, there's only one Astro on the team that has more home runs than him. That's obviously Isaac Paredes. Isaac is the only guy that have more. He'd have a 2 home run lead on 3 different players. The players that are tied for second in home runs for this team. That's no disrespect on Pena, Walker, and Altuve. Walker just hit a walk-off home run. Those guys have been good. But O'Hearn brings in some home runs and some extra base hits that this Astros team needs, and that's why I'd love to see the Astros bring him in. Let me know your thoughts on this trade for the Astros in the comment section, and peace out.